welcome into Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho.
And this is Jacob Waters.
And guys, we have our week one predictions for you guys today. So we're going to be going through every single team, talk about who we think is going to win. Please, if you haven't already, check out the Between the Pylons episode 58 podcast. We actually just finished recording that. We're going right into this. We're going to talk about the spread a little bit, the over/under a little bit here and there. We're not gonna talk on every single team, but we will mention the ones that we both agree on, we both think are good bets. That's kind of where we like to go with this. Is if you're betting every single team, you are going to lose when you're talking about gambling on the NFL. But here and there, I think there are always some good bets here and there, and we'll talk about that. All right, so first game, Thursday night, Texans-Chiefs. Where are you at?
Man, it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No,
Us
so
not
excited.
having any sports for so long. I mean, we got the NBA back. We had some MLB, some hockey here and there, but months without sports. And now we get to see two of the best, brightest young quarterbacks go at it.
Yeah.
I think it's the Chiefs to take.
Yeah.
But I do think Deshaun's going to be able to give them a little something.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. Look, the Chiefs are going to win this football game. The line for this game is minus 9.5 at the time of recording this video. It might go up from there. I think it started at 8, I think.
Well, that just shows that the money's going to the Chiefs.
The money's going to the Chiefs. Look, I would take the Texans. I know we agree on this. We would take the Texans to cover 10 points. That's a lot, or 9.5 points.
That's a heavy spread.
That's a heavy spread. And look, the week one, it's usually lower scoring games. You usually want to be a little bit more conservative in week one. You actually took the under on this game. The over under is 54.5. I think I'm
going to be one of the only guys to take the under on it, just because everyone's going to see these offenses and think, how can these guys not score combined? That's a 35 to 28 game covers. It's very likely.
Yeah. 35 to 28 would hit the over.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's very likely.
Yeah,
I'm saying that there's a chance that it stays on the under.
Yeah, it could be like a 28 to 23. That would be under. Yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. More than, I'm very, very likely that it happens, that because that 54.5 is a lot of points. But man, with the Chiefs and Texans,
touchdowns every game.
Especially week one, you always want to wonder about that. But yeah, I do agree. Chiefs are the team here coming off the Super Bowl. You worry about maybe a Super Bowl slump in week one after just getting the ring 2 weeks ago. There's storylines I could tell, but at the end of the day, I just don't think the Texans they don't have the defense to keep up with the Chiefs in any way. And if they can keep up offensively, maybe, but at the end of the day, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's the Chiefs. This is
even if they keep up offensively, we know whose offense is better.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited for week one Thursday night. We'll move on to the first game on the Sunday slate that we're going to talk about, and one of 4 games that we disagree on this week. All right, we agree a lot. Go figure. We talk about football all off season.
We're keeping up our records throughout the entire year too, so we can compare at the end. So we disagree here, and I can't believe we do.
We do. Eagles, Washington. You're taking why are you taking the Washington Reds?
Get out of here. No, I am taking Philadelphia, and this guy somehow is taking Washington week one.
I'm taking
I don't
Washington
get it.
week
Explain
one.
yourself.
All right, so look, this is based on injury. This is based on early season success. First of all, last year, Washington almost beat the Eagles coming early. They had, I believe, like a 10-point lead at the half, and then on the back of 2 deep balls to Deshaun Jackson.
Davis having some insane run, though, as a tight end.
Oh, yeah, that was a great play.
I had some crazy ass
that was a great play. Look, Washington, I get what you're saying there. At the end of the day, I'm looking at the Eagles, and I'm looking at their injuries. They are just absolutely riddled with injuries. Their rookie wide receivers hurt. Their tight end is hurt, not Ertz, but the other dude, Dallas Goedert. He has a thumb fracture, I believe. Their offensive line has taken multiple massive hits. They lost their star guard in the earlier this offseason. So that's a big hit, but we knew that coming in. They just lost their tackle. They're moving what's his name? They're Marcus.
They had to move Jason Peters.
Thank you. I want to say Marcus Peters. Jason Peters back to tackle, and they're going to have to pay him even more to play the tackle position, because he was going to play guard. Then Andrew Speeds gets hurt, so now he's going back to tackle. So they're injured. Their defensive line is banged up. They're injured pretty much across the board. We've gone through the entire offseason talking about Eagles injuries. So I go into this game and I'm like, this is a division game. I think this is kind of an up for grabs game. And to be honest, the line is crazy to me. And you disagree with me, and that's fine. But at 6.5 points, I get Washington's going to suck this year, and I understand I'm saying they're going to get an early win. I don't think Washington's going to be good. I don't think that Washington is better than the Eagles. But right now, with the amount of injuries that they're dealing with, I do think that the Washington can come out to a fast start and win this game.
I see what you're saying. I just don't see it actually coming to fruition because I see more like a 24-10 victory here where the Eagles might struggle early on. But at the end of the game, it's going to be one of those things where I think the overall talent of the team and Carson Wentz as a whole is going to be able to get his team down the field more than what Washington's going to be able to do.
I will say I think this is a 24-20 game, and it could go either way. It really could. I'm saying
Would I be
Washington
shocked
wins.
If Washington pulls this? No, I'm not going to be shocked just because, like you said, of the Eagles being decimated by these injuries.
Yeah.
But this is the Eagles to lose.
At the end of the day, and I know we disagree because you do have the Eagles covering the spread. I have the Eagles at covering 6.5. I think is crazy. So I will take Washington win the points all day. I think that's a good bet. Something to mention. But we'll move on. The Dolphins and Patriots.
We get to see revenge season. Cam Newton. We're going to
see what happens. It's going to be exciting. This is playing in Foxborough. Although I'm not sure how much the home, the advantage to the home team really happens this year. I don't think if at all. So we're not really going to factor that in too much. Patriots. We both agree. Patriots are going to win this football team, right?
Cam, I cannot wait to see it. I don't think it's going to be as highly prolific as some of the other Cam Newton games we've seen, just because it's Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. They're still going to have their system around him.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I think he's going to have a good, efficient game. I am so excited. Maybe 4 touchdowns.
You think 4 touchdowns week 1? Wow.
I'm ready.
Hey, I'm starting him in fantasy, so I hope you're right.
I'm so happy.
I've been starting. Look, Dolphins, the Patriots defense, I have everywhere in fantasy because every fantasy game that we play defenses in, I grab the Patriots late just because nobody's high on the Patriots because of how many opt-outs they have. Yeah. But they play the Dolphins week 1. I will take that all day. We know Fitzpatrick.
On your own team.
Look, Fitzpatrick's good for a couple interceptions. We all know that. Yeah, I don't think look, they're favored by 6.5 points. That's high, right?
Yeah, I mean that's high, but they're going to cover that.
You think they're going to cover that?
You think the Dolphins and Patriots are going to have that close of a game?
Listen, I'm taking the Dolphins to cover that spread at 6.5 points. I think it will be within a touchdown. I'm not as bullish as you saying that the Patriots are going to be, or that Cam Newton's going to get 4 touchdowns. But I do agree. Patriots are going to probably
31-14ish to me.
Really? Okay.
It's a blowout.
You think it's a blowout? So and you're probably over on the over under there at 31 because that's 40. It's a 43-point over under. So you think it's
that's fair. I'd be an over.
Yeah. So you think it's going to be a pretty good game? Look, I think it's going to be lower scoring than that. I really do. I think it's probably. Man, this is going to sound crazy. I think it's like 17-13 is where I'm at with this. Yeah, I'm at like 17-13.
I mean, that doesn't sound pretty on both sides at all.
No, look, and I get why not. I get why you're excited about Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton's going to be good moving forward, but like week 1, I'm not sitting here thinking he's going to absolutely dominate out of the gate. It would
totally be a Patriots headline to have this boring. Not bad, but last year, some of those wins that they had, a lot of 20 to 13ish, a lot of defense won you this game, and your offense just didn't mess up.
Yeah, and they're going to have the shackles on them a little. Not the shackles. They're going to have the training wheels on them a little bit. They're not going to give them full reign of this offense. I don't think right off the gate. But who we have next?
It's Vikings-Packers, and it is a huge game, and I think it really should go to the Vikings. We have them at home field. We haven't lost the Packers since we have our new stadium at home yet, and it's not going to happen right here. I think the Packers might be coming out slow. I'm hoping Dalvin can take this game over, and I look for us to do it. It's going to be close, though.
Yeah, I do think it'll be close. Like, I think the Vikings are just a better football team than the Packers, top to bottom. Granted, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is better than Kirk Cousins, but beyond that, the Vikings just have so much talent on both sides of the field. I think they're a better run football team than the Packers. Although the Packers do want to be a run-first football team, I think they have better weapons on the outside.
Aaron Rodgers better get ready to be on his back a lot.
Yeah, and I think the Vikings have some dominant forces on the defensive line, great linebacker core, and some great safeties.
And the Packers lost a few pieces on that O-line, which they really didn't need to afford to do.
Yeah, so
Brian Balaga's out at the Chargers.
I'm sitting here saying, the Vikings are going to cover that 2.5 spread. This is another one that I would bet on. I feel very, very confident.
It's an easy spread.
Yeah, it really is. This is one of the first ones that I'm like, yeah, let's take that. I feel good about that. But moving on, anything else really to say about them?
No, it's going to be close, but I mean, even still with a 2.5, it's pretty much pick your winner out of that, and the Vikings got it.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. And we'll move on to the Colts and Jaguars. This is one of the more interesting games that I think are going to happen this week because I do think the Colts are going to win. I think we both agree on that. The Colts are going to dominate. I actually have the Colts covering an 8-point spread. So
wow, that's
it's bold. It's a lot. But I think the Jags are going to be a lot of fun to watch. I really do. I think in garbage time, like in second half of the third quarter
on that spread.
to the fourth. Yeah, well, I totally get what you're saying. But second half of the third quarter to the fourth quarter, I think DJ Shark's going to get like 2 touchdowns, and it's just going to be a really fun game at the end. Maybe not meaningful, but definitely fun. Yeah, I think this is a blowout. I think this is like 31 to 14 kind of game. Those touchdowns come at the end, right?
I think Colts are going to absolutely dominate. Be able to get them down the field. Sometimes it's not going to be pretty for them. The Colts are going to be able to establish the run early and let Phillip Rivers throw it when he has to throw, and when he's going to, it's going to be good too. So they're going to be in control of this game the entire time. But I still think within 8 points, I think Jackson was able to get something late and just do it.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair, and you're absolutely right. The Jags have a little bit of firepower on that offense where they could absolutely come up and cover 8 points. That's a lot of points.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, does he break out?
Jonathan Taylor, no, not this week. I'm playing Marlon Mack in a lot of leagues. I really am.
Wow, you're starting him?
Yeah, I'm starting him in a lot of leagues.
I'm starting Jonathan Taylor in one league.
Really, that's totally fair. I'm looking at the Colts Jags. They're going to be on the offense. They're going to be coasting through this game. I do believe that.
Yeah, you run the ball.
And with Marlon Mack as the RB1 going out, I really believe week 1 it's going to be the Marlon Mack show. Jonathan Taylor's going to get a couple snaps here and there, but yeah, I'm starting him as a flex in a couple leagues where I'm like, I have a lot of guys that like I want to see 1 week before I really start trusting them in my lineup.
Yeah.
And I feel like the floor for a Marlon Mack game, it's 10 points. I feel like I have a good floor. I feel very confident.
What's the touches for Taylor, you think?
I think he gets probably.
I think he gets 12.
Ooh, yeah, that's too many. I was going to say 7 or 8 carries. And then he's out on the field probably more than that. But yeah, I think 7 or 8 carries is probably a good number for him. And then
going with 12. I think if he has 12 carries,
12's not crazy, but if he gets 12 carries, then what's Marlon Mack?
I am comfortable. I think Taylor's going to end up getting just a little bit more, but it's going to be pretty much even.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah,
11,
that's fair.
10-ish. Yeah.
Okay. That's totally fair. Were you going to say anything else?
No, I feel comfortable in flexing out Jonathan Taylor this week.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, especially with a lot of other matchups where it's like you just don't know what's going to happen week 1. Like I have Cam Akers in a lot of leagues, and then I got Marlon Mack late. I'm starting Marlon Mack over Cam Akers in 2 leagues actually.
Just because you got to see it.
Because I want to wait a week. I want to see it to believe it kind of thing, and I really feel like I know what I'm getting from a Marlon Mack with like I said, about 10 points. Mm-hmm. But we'll move on to the Bears and the Lions. The Lions host the Bears this week.
We agree across the board.
No, we disagree on a couple. Oh, we agree across the board on the bets.
On this one.
Yes, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying the rest of the games. Mine. The Lions are favored by 3 points. I think the Lions cover those 3 points. The Lions are a better football team than I think the Bears. I think the Lions are on their way to a really good season, and the Bears are on their way to a bottom 10 season, and this is the start of that.
I agree with you.
You're on the rest of the board.
I mean, the Bears defense could give Matt Stafford and that offensive line some fits early on, but even then, I just don't see the Bears offense having enough firepower. Yeah. Well, they have the firepower. I don't see the quarterback being able to control the firepower and get them down the field and score the points.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The Bears probably cap out at 24 points max. I mean, that's max this week.
Yeah, that's with like a touchdown, like a lucky touchdown kind of thing.
I just don't know where.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And then the Lions, look, the over-under is 44. I think it's under only because I think the Lions just dominate. I really do. I think the
under
Lions
as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 23-24-13 type of game, and they're just going to kind of just completely dominate, leave the Bears with no chance to really do anything. I think it'll be one of those type of games.
So we're going to move on to the Panthers and Raiders, and we disagree on this one.
Yeah, we do.
And I have the Panthers, and I thought you would have the Panthers just because I know you're kind of high on them in this year.
Listen, I am high on the Panthers. For me, this was a coin flip game. This was an absolute, like, I have a lot of questions about both teams. I'm not sure what to expect from both teams. I have some assumptions about both teams. But at the end of the day, I took the Raiders over the Panthers because the Raiders have a little bit more defense than the Panthers do. And I think that's kind of where they end up. I think the Raiders, they have the potential to be an offensive powerhouse. They have the potential. I'm not saying they're going to be that, but they have the firepower in Ruggs and Edwards. They have the star Josh Jacobs. They have a great tight end in Waller. So they have the weapons, and they have a great interior offensive line and pretty good tackle play as well. So I actually like the Raiders' offense a whole lot, and their defense is a work in progress. There's some pieces there that are missing, but overall, pretty good defensive line. You got Max Crosby that blew up last week. Cullen Farrell is not terrible. They have their first round pick out of Ole Miss or Mississippi State, whatever it was, one of those SEC teams. The safety Jonathan Abrams. Yeah. The big Hard Knocks guy last year. He was hurt. He got hurt first game of the season last year. He's back, and I think he's going to be a really good player. So overall, I think the Raiders just have a little bit more firepower than the Panthers this year. But I am super, super close on it.
So I could see some of the Raiders' offensive weapons blowing up just because of the lack of Panthers' defensive talent. Henry Ruggs, look for him to have at least one explosive play where you're going to be like, that's why they got him.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 50-yard slant that he just takes, like 2-yard slant, takes it 50 yards to the house, something like that. But I still see the pieces with the Panthers and their system, the way that it's going to click. We're really going to get to see the ideas that Matt Rule's going to and Joe Brady are going to install to this offense with Bridgewater. McCaffrey's going to eat. Yeah. I think he's going to be able to go for at least 50 and 50, 50 rushing, 50 receiving with a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I think that might be enough to be able to get the job done on the day.
Would not surprise me at all, right? So you took the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers on the spread. The Panthers get 3.5 points in the spread. I'll take that because I truly believe this is a coin flip game. Yeah. It could go either way. I'm not. I said Raiders.
It's going to be close.
I'm not confident. So I'll take 3.5 points and run it with the Panthers there. If I had to bet on this, I wouldn't bet on this game at all. You took the under. I took the over as far as the over under, which is 47.5 points. I do think it's going to be over. I think they're both offensive powerhouses, or they both have the potential to be offensive powerhouses. I
see the lack of defensive talent, but I still just see these two teams being mediocre teams that are just going to be battling against each other. None of these guys, I don't think we're talking about either playoff teams right here. So
yeah, no, I do absolutely agree with you. But we'll move on to a game we do agree on, the Jets and the Bills. And this is going to be fast, right? Like we both agree, Jets suck. Bills are going to be good this year. The spread is 6.5 points, and we're both taking the 6.5 points with the Bills. Like Bills are going to win by a touchdown.
There's a lot of Buffalo hype, and it worries me honestly because there's a way that you could paint a Jets win for me. Yeah, I think all of the hype, I think some of the Josh Allen hype, it takes him being a little less, not as accurate as he was sometimes last year.
Yeah, a bad pick or something,
A bad pick goes the wrong way, and next thing you know, this is a defensive powerhouse team with the offense we want to see get going in the Bills, but if it doesn't, you never know with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, it's not something we're super confident on. I think the biggest thing that I feel pretty good. Look, the over-under is 39.5. That's the lowest over-under of any team according to Bovada Sportsbook.
I think it's because the Jets is holding it down.
Yeah, the Jets are holding it down, but also the Bills. I mean, the Bills are supposed to be a defensive first team, and I look at this game to be like I think it could be like 18-10. Like I really could think it's going to be weird like that.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, 18 points is definitely a weird one.
The idea that I want to believe, and it's because I have a lot of Buffalo stock in Devin Singletary and Josh Allen, is that Buffalo just comes out and they just live up to it. They go like 31-3.
Yeah,
I mean, they just destroy it. Josh Allen throws for 300, gets some with his legs too.
Yeah.
That's the storyline I want to see.
Yeah, no, that's a possibility. The Jets defense is not going to be good this year, but they still have that defensive coordinator from the Broncos or from the Browns from 2 years ago.
CJ Mosley opting out, that really destroys him in the middle.
Yeah, not only CJ Mosley, but they lost Jamal Adams. Yes. I mean, they lost pieces all over the field.
Leonard Williams is gone, I believe.
Leonard Williams is gone. Yeah, their defense is hurting. Their offense isn't much better in my opinion. They have injury issues all over the field. I agree with you. There's a way the Jets win, but I would not feel confident at all thinking the Jets are going to win this game. Yeah.
Is it a lock of the week type of thing?
Yeah, for the Bills to win, I do think I would take the Bills money line, and it's not great odds, but I would absolutely take the Bills just to win this game.
There's a reason it's not. We'll move on though. We have a really exciting game here. I think I know we both side with the same winner, but it could be exciting with the offensive firepower. Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, look, I like this game a lot. I think it's going to be really fun. We both have the Ravens winning, right? And I mean, do we have to tell you why? I mean, the fucking Ravens, they were awesome last year, right? Nothing's changed other than they got better for the most part. Based on paper, they got better. And then we look at the Browns, new coach. We don't know what they're going to be. I feel very confident in knowing, like I've said it all offseason throughout this podcast, I feel very confident in knowing what they're going to be this year. I do think they're going to try and run a lot of 21 personnel. They're going to try and run the ball. They're going to try and keep this game in control. I think they're going to try and control this game as best they can. I think they have weapons all over the field on offense. The spread is 8 points. I think they cover the spread. I think they keep it within a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, despite all the headlines that have just come out, Odell Beckham is not a number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
He is a true number 1. Get it? That was a shit joke about him being
I didn't get it.
Him not receiving number 2s. Yeah, so that's a different storyline too about OBJ loving poop for some reason. That's cool.
I forgot about that one.
All the cool kids get pooped on, I guess.
Yeah.
But Baltimore is the team to beat. Baltimore.
Continue. No, keep going.
Oh, Baltimore's a great team. Lamar Jackson isn't going to, he's going to pick up right where he left off on the MVP year. He's probably going to stay in the pocket a lot more, and I think that's going to surprise a lot of people. Look for Baker to have some success through the air, though. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I have the over, I know for sure, and Baltimore's going to win it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I took the under because I do think these are two teams that want to run the football. I don't feel comfortable about that under at all. I mean, at 48.5 points, it could easily go over, but I took the under there. It feels like that's a game that could stay reasonable. But all in all, yeah, I feel confident that the Ravens win. I feel pretty good that the Browns cover. It's one of those weird things where it's like, it's going to be a 7-point game either way.
OBJ's going to shit on him.
Yeah.
He's got it.
All right, it's my turn. Let's talk about the Seahawks, the Falcons. The Seahawks go to the Falcons. That was a terrible transition. All right, Seahawks go to the Falcons this week. I think the Seahawks are going to win this game. The Seahawks are favored by only 2 points, which I think is a little low. I think it's disrespectful to the Seahawks.
I think people are really hyping up this offensive firepower of a game, and it is going to be that. And I could see the Falcons winning. This is one of the games that I'm most excited to watch.
Yeah.
But it's Seattle through and through.
Yeah, this is a lock for me.
Seattle covers and they win.
Yeah, this is a lock for me. We're trying to keep up with a couple of locks that we have where we think, like, absolutely, we're both on the same page and we think the game's going to go the same way. We agree across the board that the Seahawks are going to win this game. I think they're going to cover. I think really the biggest thing is if you look at the defense for the Falcons, first of all, they're not going to be able to keep up with the Seahawks. They're just not. It's just I would be very, very surprised if they are. And
the Falcons win if they get into an absolute shootout. Seattle can win an ugly game right now.
But here's the thing. If they get into an absolute shootout, the Seahawks are still going to win that game. I feel very confident no matter how this game script goes. I feel confident the Seahawks are going to come out ahead. Obviously, like if the Seahawks keep this within control, like if they try and run the ball and try and control the game that way, well, the Seahawks have the defensive weapons to keep up with the Falcons. Like they can control the Falcons football team. Falcons are going to get theirs. I mean, there's too much talent on the team for them not to. But altogether, yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to win this game. I think they win by probably 6 or 7 points. Honestly, I think they're gonna dominate this game at 2 points on the spread. I will bet that, and I'm going to be betting on that. And it's the over at 49 points as well. I think we're both over on that.
Yeah, Seattle's going to take it. Yeah. We'll move on to a game that has a lot of exciting headlines, and we get to see Joe Burrow finally.
Yes.
We get to see Justin Herbert sit on the bench because the Chargers announced that Tyrod Taylor is going to be starting. I am going to take the Bengals. I'm a big believer in feel-good stories. I have liked all the stuff that I have heard about Joe Burrow. I have liked all the stuff that I've seen from the Bengals and what they're going to do. And, yeah, I look for him to throw for 300 first week.
Listen, we still have 2 games that we disagree on going forward because I absolutely agree with you here. The Bengals are going to win this football game. They get 3 points. So I
thought you'd get me for saying Burrow over 300.
Yeah, no,
I
think there's absolutely a chance, especially with the hits that the Chargers have taken to that defense, especially losing your all-star with Derwin is gonna really be hard on them. Overall, look, I think this is a closer game than people are expecting. Tyrod Taylor has never let it loose in his entire career. I know last week on Hard Knocks, not when this video comes out, it will be 2 weeks ago. But last week on Hard Knocks, they were talking about how he just needs to let it go. He just needs to let it loose. And like that was like a big theme of the Hard Knocks last week. And if he does that, they can absolutely win this game. But Mike Williams is questionable for the game. I don't think he's going to play. We have a team that I have questions about. I have questions about their offensive line. I have questions about their quarterback. I'm not confident in their defense, although I do think it's really good, especially that front seven.
Oh, I love their defense.
Yeah, the front seven's really good.
I think he's going to have hell with that secondary, though.
Yeah.
Chris Harris and Casey Hayward are monsters, dude. That's scary.
Yeah. No, and I do agree with you. I think this is going to be a close game, a good game either way. But again, the Bengals I feel like they have the firepower to come and run away with.
That we're saying that the Bengals have firepower? They haven't had firepower since Chad Johnson was there.
Yeah, look, I mean, we talked about it on the pod that we just recorded. Go check that out, by the way. Where I kind of said, look, if you look at the kind of situation that Joe Burrow's coming into, it's not bad from an offensive standpoint.
Not as bad as it could be.
Not as bad as it could be at all. I mean, you have AJ Green, you have weapons all over on the wide receiver position.
We get to see the star left tackle, Jonah Williams, finally.
Jonah Williams is coming back. You have a great running back that they just paid. Yeah, they have weapons all over the field. They can absolutely win this game. At 3 points, I feel pretty confident it's going to be close either way. But we'll move on to the Cardinals and the 49ers. I think this is going to be a really fun game. I really do.
Be.
And look, we disagree on who we would take with the spread, but we agree on who's going to win. The 49ers are going to win this football game, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's just too much talent in that 49ers football team, and the Cardinals still have so many question marks on the defensive side of the ball, especially. I think this is the game to watch. If you had to pick one game this week, Well, not this game actually. Watch the Bucs Saints.
But the next game.
Yeah. But man, I am very, very excited to see what happens with the Cardinals and 49ers this week. I think the Cardinals are going to surprise you. I think the Cardinals are going to put up some points. I think Kyler Murray is going to surprise you, especially. The spread is 7 points in favor of the 49ers. I am taking the Cardinals to cover 7 points.
I think the Cardinals are going to have a lot of flair, a lot of exciting plays. DeAndre Hopkins is going to go off for at least 75 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
But the 49ers are going to remain in control of this game, and they're never really going to be scared. That defensive line is going to have Kyler making those plays. He's going to have to earn that paycheck, and he's going to have to get those yards because I don't see how they're going to be able to do it with the rushing attack that the 49ers can bring on offense. That eats away the clock. They have no problem sustaining an 8-minute drive out there.
No,
they can do that. And then if you can take the ball away from the one good thing that the Cardinals have going is that offense, it's the 49ers.
Yeah, look, and I agree with you, and that's a great assessment of how the game's going to go, and I do think the 49ers are going to win the game by doing a lot of that, but when the Cardinals have the ball in their hands, I think it's going to be fun to watch. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm saying
I
with
get
it.
what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. So
now we will get to the game of the week. I would say most people's game of the week, and I cannot wait to watch it, and we do disagree on this. Yep. It is the Buccaneers and the Saints. Saints being the home team here with the fans being taken out. I don't think the Superdome is as super as it can be. And that is why I give it to Tom Brady and the Bucs.
Yeah, look, I agree, I get why you're saying that. I'm going to say the Saints come out and win this game. I
know both of us would not be surprised either way. You might be more surprised than I'd be.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Bucs come out and win. It would go against some of the things I've said all off season. Yeah. But I've also always said, look, they can absolutely be great. I just have had questions throughout the off season about what the Bucs are going to be this year. The Saints just feel like the team that have so much going for them as far as like consistency from year 1 to year 2. Yeah. From the 2019 season to the 2020 season, and that's a big thing in this COVID world that we're living in. The Bucs have so many moving pieces. I talked about it a little bit with the Panthers. Well, the Bucs have even more than the Panthers, it feels like, especially on the field at least. So for me, I think it might take a little bit. Even the Bucs are awesome this year. They absolutely could be, and I expect them to be to a certain extent. I think it's going to take a couple of weeks for them to get going, just like it always did with the New England Patriots. It feels like at the beginning of the season, they came out to the slow start with Tom Brady for all those years in New England. Not every year, obviously, but a lot of the time they did. I think the Saints win this game. I think the Saints cover 3.5 points. I think it's going to be a great game to watch. I'm so excited to see it.
Oh, it's going to be thrilling.
Yeah, it's going to be thrilling.
We get to see two of the greatest quarterbacks go at it. We get to see some elite defenses line up against each other. Yeah. I can't wait. I think it's going to come down to the last second. We're going to get to see Tom Brady with the ball, 4 minutes left, and he's going to make it happen.
Throwing into weapons.
This year he's not going to stress, because he's like, oh, I got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out there. Yeah. Oh, and there's my buddy Gronk lining up too. Yeah.
Oh, I have Leonard Fournette right behind me. That'll be fine. Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be super fun to watch. But we'll move on to the Cowboys and Rams.
Another game. We'd agree.
Another game I'm very excited about. Oh, I would have been surprised if you took the Rams here.
I don't think it's that bold in taking the Rams. The Rams are a good football team.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't have been
it is
too
the Cowboys,
surprising.
Though, just because of the way that the roster shapes up.
Yeah, they are built to beat
Rams.
The Rams
are good. Cowboys
they really
are amazing.
The Cowboys, look, so we both took the Cowboys. I think we're both taking the Cowboys to cover the 3-point spread.
Yes.
Look, the Cowboys are just, on paper, one of the best teams in the NFL, right? Like they're dominant on the offensive line. They have a pretty good quarterback covering it, throwing the ball around. They have 3 dominant receivers. I believe will be. Obviously, we've never seen CeeDee Lamb in the NFL, but I think he's going to be very dominant. And defensively, they have a great defensive line. Randy Gregory is back. They have pieces all over the defensive line. Their linebacker core is probably the best.
Marcus Lawrence.
Absolutely, their linebacker core is probably one of the best in the NFL, and they have question marks on the secondary side, but they still have pieces there as well. I think they match up very well against the Rams football team that's going to want to run the ball. The only question here is schematics, right? The Rams beat the Cowboys, I believe, last year because the Rams had the X's and O's as opposed to the Jimmies and the Joes, And
I think that is what Mike McCarthy's going to be able to correct with the Cowboys.
That's what we hope to see. That's what we think can change the tides for the Cowboys.
Everything the Rams want to do, the Cowboys also like to do. They can do it better.
And look, we actually agree across the board, but this is not a game that I think either of us are super confident in, right? This is not a lock for me.
That's why I said I thought one of us would differ, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who feel that the Cowboys having to travel to the Rams, despite being the fans. You're having to travel halfway across the country to go play this game. And sometimes some of these teams having to go out west doesn't really fare well for them.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I'm curious to see what happens. If you put a gun to my head, I would take the Cowboys, but I'm not going to bet on this game.
All right, let's move on. The reason I was hesitating on doing it, I was looking at the Steelers-Giants matchup, and I have the Steelers. And last year, I remember specifically it being the Giants. What is it with me and taking the Giants as an underdog upset team? I remember doing it last year a few times.
A lot, yeah.
Well, and I thought about taking it now. But I'm
thought
not
about changing it?
I'm not. I'm going to stay with the Steelers. I like it a lot. I think the Steelers with Big Ben, and that's one of the reasons that I'm sticking with it is because of the reemergence of Big Ben. He's coming back. He's healthy. Mike Tomlin, great coach. This defense is loaded, and they're going to give Daniel Jones fits. TJ Watt, he's going to get a pick or two, some sacks for sure. It's going to be good.
So I was getting ready to call this a lock, too. I really was. We don't usually plan this, but I was getting ready to call this a lock.
Call it a lock.
Because this game, we agree across the board, first of all, which is why, the first step in having a lock between the Pylons. The Steelers obviously have so many weapons in the passing game. Ben Roethlisberger's bat. We don't know what Ben Roethlisberger's going to look at, but if we can assume that it's going to be the same guy.
He's going to be better than Duck Hodges.
Much better than Duck Hodges or Mason Rudolph, for sure. And the Giants have the worst secondary in the NFL, in my opinion. All right, they added Logan Thompson to play cornerback. Maybe not secondary, but definitely the worst cornerback room. They have James Bradbury. They have a guy that they drafted in the 6th round starting, and then now they just added Logan Ryan to help out as like the nickel, slot type corner type of guy. Yeah, man, I don't know what the Giants are going to be defensively. I'm very, very nervous. I think this is a game where, first of all, if you just made me pick a team, I would take the Steelers. But when I look into the game and I really study, position by position, I think the Steelers match up against the Giants really fucking well.
They do.
Like what the Giants are going to want to do offensively is run the ball, control, stay inside the numbers a little bit and try and control the ball. Well, the Steelers are going to rack that up. The Steelers defense, their front seven's so good. I feel very confident the Steelers are going to be able to handle the Giants offensively. I think this is built to be a blowout. I can't talk. This is kind of built to be maybe a blowout for the Steelers. It would not surprise me a bit if this was a blowout.
I think I picked the score because I did this I do a pick 'em on the ESPN app. It was 28-17. I think one of my I wouldn't say bold, fantasy predictions in this is that Deontay Johnson is going to have a really, really damn good game. Yeah. He's going to have a better week than Juju. So
you actually said this. So I did my I don't know if you watched it, but I posted the wide receiver cornerback matchups, and I'm gonna go in depth on the Hammercast Network. So check that out on Wednesday nights live stream. But I did a little video and I highlighted three games and then one caveat to think about for this week and wide receiver cornerback matchups. And the caveat was the Steelers versus the Giants. And I love that you said Deontay Johnson because I don't know who it's going to be. But what I said was somebody's going to blow up for the Steelers, and like it could be Deontay Johnson, it could be Juju, it could be James Washington, it could be Chase Claypool. Who knows? But you said Deontay Johnson. Wouldn't doubt it a bit. Like Deontay Johnson. I'm just hearing so much Juju, and Juju is a great wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I think Deontay Johnson may be able to slip through the cracks here and get it done. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that's a great take by you. And we will finish it off with the very last game of the week. Hometown team. The Titans take on the Broncos in Mile High City Stadium, whatever it is. I think the Broncos are going to win this game. This is the last game and the last game that we disagree on. We only disagreed on 4. This is the team that you were very, very high on. Look, I was very high on the Broncos moving forward. I am. Okay. I was very high on the Broncos throughout the offseason, I guess is what I was trying to say. Going to the season, I think the Broncos are going to be a great football team. I think this is a great matchup, no matter which way you take it, right? You're saying the Titans could absolutely win this game. I'm taking the Broncos because I think the Broncos have a little bit more offensive firepower in the wide receiver game as far as Juju, Cortland Sutton, and then, KJ Hamler. I think that's maybe a better trio than what the Titans have, although I don't hate the Titans' weapons at all. Titans got some good ones. Yeah, I'm not shitting on the Titans by any means. But I look at the Broncos and I look at that defense, I think it's going to be really, really good. I look at that Titans defense, I think it's going to be really, really good. I look at that Broncos offensive line, going to be okay. I look at that Titans offensive line, going to be pretty good. These are very good very teams similar in the trenches, and Derrick Henry's going to have to fight for those yards. Yeah. I'm looking at one of the interesting parts about the bad blood going on here with Jarrell Casey from leaving the Titans, kicking him out and going over to Denver. Jarrell Casey said that he is telling Denver everything he knows about the Titans. Yeah. Jadeveon took number 99. Jarrell's old number last year. Yeah. So there's some headlines going on about Jarrell feeling disrespected for the 99 being gone because
I mean, that was him. And he got forced out of town.
Yeah. Traded for a 7th-round pick.
Yeah, exactly. A cap dump.
Yeah.
I look for the Titans to be able to take this game, though. I think they're going to be able to give Drew Lock a little bit of trouble, and it's going to be one of those games where if they can get in control and have Derrick Henry start going, you're not going to be able to stop him.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with you. Like I said, I'm not betting on this game by any means.
Yeah.
The last caveat I will say is Broncos at home with the elevation could be dangerous for the Titans.
It could.
Yeah, that is
the Broncos going anywhere. They almost upset the Vikings last year whenever they weren't considered that good of a team
at all. Yeah,
they can travel pretty well, and at home you don't want to have to go play at Mile High.
Yeah, that's just the elevations with the lack of training or the lack of.
It's conditioning.
Yeah, conditioning. That's what I was looking for. The lack of conditioning from every team in the NFL, really, just because of the situation that we live in. Yeah, I definitely think it's a good possibility. I think the Broncos are going to win this game, but like you said, it could go either way. It'll be very, very fun to watch.
These are the games for either team. If you look at the storyline, these are the games that could finally separate you from being, man, they're a good team, to being, we are legit here. We are ready to take our division and be able to move deep into the playoffs. And I think either team, Broncos less, of course, because they have the Chiefs in their division, but Titans especially. These are the games that you look back whenever you have those 7-9 kind of down years.
Yeah.
These are the ones you lose. You got to be able to pull these wins out somewhere.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. That's a great way to end it there. I really agree with you there. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're interested in this T.Y. Hilton jersey right behind us. This is the last week to win it. Go to our podcast, like, subscribe, and comment, and you can enter into a chance to win that podcast. We will be back next week with all the news, notes, headlines, weekly predictions, and all the good stuff you're looking for from the NFL and college next week on Between the Pylons.
Skol.
Peace out, guys.